Welcome to 843 TV, and today we're coming to you from the Port Royal Sound Foundation Maritime Center. It's a very special episode, and an episode that's being brought to you by the town of Port Royal. So Joe Lee is here to tell us a little bit about what we're doing here today. Joe, inform us what we're doing.
Wayne, we're so excited to be here because this is a new addition to the town of Port Royal, and we're so proud of it. And over a year ago, we came out and saw this in its conceptual stage, and we're so proud to be back here now that it's actually in operation, and we're anxious to see have these folks talk to us about it.
Absolutely, it's a beautiful maritime center, so important to our community.
Yes.
Today, our guests are going to be Jody Hayward, who is the Port Royal Sound Foundation Director, Tim Price, who is the naturalist and the program director, all the different programs here, and then Jerry Kenton, who is the administrative assistant, and they're going to share a bunch of information with you about what this place is and why it's important to our community. So stay with us for 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.
843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where the town of Hilton Head Island comes to speak. Where Port Royal comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. We now have the pleasure to be joined by Miss Jody Hayward, who is the director of the Port Royal Sound Foundation. Jody, how are you?
I'm very good.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here.
So tell everybody about the Port Royal Sound Foundation's Maritime Center, where we are today.
Well, the Maritime Center is, as you know, is now open. We opened in November, and it's just been an incredible experience. This place is here to fulfill the mission of the Port Royal Sound Foundation itself. We have 3 buildings here on the property. One is the main exhibit hall, which is where we are right now, that people will visit and learn all about the history and about the Port Royal Sound and really everything that has to do with the Port Royal Sound. That's why we're here. We have a second building that's our educational building where we do a lot of our lectures and demonstrations. It's all set up like a classroom. And then our third building on the property is the foundation office. But this, you know, as many people know that have lived here forever, this building was a renovation project. The town of Port Royal was just incredible in helping us out. But it was the old Lemon Island Marina. And if you saw it before and you could see it now, you would see what a wonderful transformation this place went through. We are so thrilled to be right on the Port Royal Sound. I mean, it just wouldn't be the same if we couldn't go outside and actually touch the water while you're here, because that is the main attraction here. I mean, we've got these beautiful exhibits, but that is the main attraction, to be able to walk out on one of our 2 docks and to be able to see the dolphin going by or the bald eagles flying over, and to be right here out on the main road so that you can just pull right in at any time and be able to come inside. So
we were actually here about, what, a year and a half ago and saw when it was not finished at all.
Right.
And so where you've come from to where you are now, I mean, this is a beautiful setting.
Right.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're thrilled. We're thrilled.
Jody, why don't you tell them about the reaction people have had?
Oh, the reaction has just been wonderful from all ends of the county, from, you know, Savannah to Hilton Head and Fripp Island, everywhere. People have been coming in, and the visitors to the county, all ages, you know, grandparents bringing their grandchildren in over the holiday. It's just been wonderful. So we couldn't be more pleased. And the thing that we tell everyone is that this is our phase 1. I mean, we're just getting started. It's going to be changing on an hourly basis. I mean, we just put in a brand new exhibit yesterday that is just beautiful, that we can't wait to share with everyone. So the reaction's been right where we wanted it to be, and I think it's just going to continue to build.
Good.
Can you tell everybody a little bit more about our exhibits?
Yeah, sure. The exhibits really encompass who we are and what we're all about. It's a combination of the animals and the history, everything having to do with the Port Royal Sound and how the Port Royal Sound itself has helped shape the history of this area, and then helping everyone to really understand what lives out there in the Port Royal Sound and why it's so important and why we need to pay attention to it. And then also helping people to enjoy it, you know. So the 3,000 gallon aquarium, it'll be forever changing. We'll get new fish in it, and we have a rotating exhibit room that, like I just said, a new exhibit went in there yesterday. And many of the exhibits are just in phase 1, and this year is going to be very exciting for exhibits.
And who do you attract? Who do you think will be your largest visitor base?
Well, it's been fun because it's really been all ages. Like I said, grandparents, grandchildren, school groups have been already a big thing. We've had 3 school groups out. 60 fifth graders were in here the day before we opened, you know, and that was wild.
I'm sure.
But exactly what we plan to, you know, have here. So that's very exciting. So there's something for everyone here. You know, the parents, the grandparents tend to go towards the history and learning about that, whereas the kids are running straight to the tanks, our touch tanks, which are in the back. You know, it's that hands-on experiential learning that we want people to have to really, to learn and appreciate.
Just
what
about
we
everyone
have.
in Beaufort County touches the Port Royal Sound at some point.
You're
so
exactly
it's very,
right.
very important for everybody to come.
Exactly.
And that's why I was, that was my next question is, why is something like this so important for our community?
Well, you know, I moved here 10 years ago, and I still really didn't know as much about the Port Royal Sound as I do now. I mean, every day I learned something new. The Port Royal Sound, it's a very unique body of water, and it's in pristine condition.
Well, and I always say that this is our Chesapeake Bay, and we can't let what happened to Chesapeake Bay happen here. So
Exactly.
this Maritime Center is key to the educational part of every resident to understand how they impact this sound.
Exactly. What I like to say too is that we want to be able to continue to celebrate it and help people enjoy it and learn more about it. We don't want to become an organization that's all concentrated on cleaning it up, because right now it's pristine. We want to keep it that way, and if it gets dirty, it's our fault.
Yeah.
You know, it's everyone's fault
almost
because we
irreversible.
all touch it.
And that's why it's great to have all the school kids coming in, because that's where it starts with them.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we were talking, it's just crazy how far it extends. All the way up to Allendale, the runoff comes all the way back down here.
Right. The whole basin's huge.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
So a lot of work to do on the education front.
Exactly, and that's what's so exciting, because we are not short of ideas. You know, it's constantly, you know, people are giving us new things that we could do, and so that's what makes every day coming to work, you know, so exciting, is that the ability to touch so many people.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
with
you
us.
bet. Thank you for being here.
And stay with us. We'll be right back with more 843 TV. Welcome back to 843 TV. We now have the pleasure to be joined by Tim Price, who is the naturalist and the program director here at the Maritime Center. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Thanks for having us in your office.
Thank you. It's great.
So we mentioned it earlier in Jody's segment. Tell us just exactly what the coverage area is for the Port Royal Sound.
All right. The Port Royal Sound is a very large area that most people aren't aware of. It actually covers right around 1,600 square miles.
Wow.
And that's almost all of Beaufort County. Then you're going up into the Jasper County and up into Hamilton County, or Hampton County, I'm sorry. And in Beaufort, it's everything from Fripp Island hunting around Ladies Island, St. Helena, of course Beaufort, and down into Bluffton, Hilton Head. And it's all of what you think of as the Sea Islands in the Beaufort area. And the rivers that you see out here, your Broad Rivers, Beaufort River, the May River, those are all tributaries of the Sound. And it pretty much runs from the southern end of the Ace Basin all the way down to the Savannah River outflow.
Wow.
So that whole part of coastline right here is all part of the Port Royal Sound.
So as you know, a resident, anything that you do, if you're in one of those areas, affects the sound.
Exactly. Wow. If you use fertilizer, pesticides, if you just have a lot of pavement or rooftop
Wash your car.
area, wash your car, anything you do with water, it's going to leach into our system and eventually get washed out into the sound. And one of the really unique and interesting dynamics is the sound is like a really big bathtub, and it doesn't get a whole lot of water replacement. The water just sort of goes out and then comes all the way back in up into the Yemassee, Allendale area, and it just comes back out, and by the time it gets there, the next tidal cycle has come in and it gets pushed all the way back. So any pollution you put in there is pretty much sticking right with us.
And what's the time frame? Like if I was in Hilton Head and I washed my car, like how long would it take that to run off into the sound at some point?
It depends where you are, but...
And it takes a rain, so you'd have to have a rain event first.
But it could be weeks or months or years?
Probably a lot sooner than that.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be pretty much that day it gets into the drains, goes through the water treatment plants, or goes directly into the water. So, yep, you got to be really careful.
So we've got a lot of education to do. Why don't you tell them about some of the programs and workshops that will help people learn about what we can do?
Well, here in February, we're going to start our first group of programs. We're going to do birding activities. We're going to have a children's story time, which will be great. We're also looking at doing some educational charters with a company out of Hilton Head. So those are some of the programs we're going to get going right in February, along with the continuation of our Tuesday talks. But when we get better weather and people can tolerate being on the water, we're going to be doing fishing instructionals, cast netting, archaeology explorations, marsh education trips, beach walks.
Right.
So a lot of what we're going to do, people won't even realize they're learning while they're doing it because they're having such a good time learning a new skill or enjoying the area. But they're really, every time someone comes in, we're learning something new about the sound. I think that's what's great about it.
Yeah, there's limitless possibilities with programs out here.
And we've already had quite a few school trips out here. Tell them about some of the activities that you're doing with the kids.
The kids are a lot of fun. The first two groups we had were 5th graders, and we had set up 3 stations. One of them, they were out on a boat, the Spartina educational charter for an hour, doing water sampling, looking at dolphins, eagles, all the wading birds. Another rotation, they would be out by the touch tanks, looking at the fish, getting to touch some of them, and the whelks, the starfish we had at the time, sand dollars. And in this main area, looking at the fish we have in our main aquarium right behind us as well as the ones overhead, and just getting an idea of the different animals we have here, how their different shapes affect their lifestyle and everything. Then the last group was out in the marsh, getting all muddy, catching fiddler crabs and snails and playing out there a little bit and learning about the tides and the difference between low and high tide and the different habitats it creates. And with older groups, we do a little bit more science-based stuff, not quite as...
You had them laying out on the floor, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, outline of a big shark?
Yeah, we had them lay down head to foot to cover 60 feet, which is the estimated length of a megalodon, which thankfully are extinct now. You don't have to worry about them.
Be in the water.
But yeah, that's great, getting them.
And we had a lot of kids that came out that had never been out on the water. I mean, you take it for granted, but they came in and they had seen dolphin and shark and bald eagles, and they were just bubbling over with excitement. So that was a lot of fun.
That's great.
So what animals do you have here now? I guess that rotates some.
Yep. Right now we have a bunch of different fish species, the local crabs, some whelks, and in the future we'll be getting some of the bigger sport fish like cobia, red drum and black drum.
And you're working with Waddell for this? That's
Waddell
great.
Mariculture is a DNR-run facility outside Bluffton. They supply us with fish, shrimp, everything like that. And I mean, anything you can catch in those waters, well, of course, to a size limit, we want to have in here. So.
Sure.
And real quickly, in just about 30 seconds, tell us why you think this is so important for our community to have a maritime center like this.
Having a maritime center just gives us the ability to get our word out to people. You need a physical location where they can come see these animals that they're unable to see anywhere else and really get engaged and get excited about it. And that's what's going to make them want to come back and really get a passion involved with, especially the little kids, seeing these animals up close.
Makes sense.
you need that physical location to get people in the door.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more 843 TV. Welcome back to 843 TV. We're now joined by Miss Jerry Kenton, who is an administrative assistant here at the Maritime Center. And I understand the heartbeat of the whole place keeps it all together.
Well, it's a team, and we have a good heartbeat going.
Good. So tell us why something like this is important, not only for our residents, but for the visitors to our area as well.
Well, as Jody alluded to earlier, we have something for everybody. Whether you like to touch things or read or just look at pictures, we tell the history and science and social studies in a variety of ways. Kids can touch things and smell them and watch them, or you can read forever. There's so much information in the center, so really something for everyone, all ages and however you like to learn. And it's just, you have fun here while you're learning, so it's a great thing.
I think that's the best way to educate somebody, is to give them an experience like this, where they, like you said, they can come in and not just read about it in a textbook in a classroom, but the field experience.
They absolutely can experience it.
And tell us a little bit about the volunteer opportunities we have available for people and how to get involved.
Well, the Maritime Center couldn't exist without volunteers. Everyone that works inside the center is here just because they love it, from the reception desk, everyone who greets the folks, our docents who are stationed throughout the center to be able to give you more information if you want it, to make sure you don't miss some special things, our educators for our field trips. So everyone in the center that you're going to interact with are volunteers.
And you've done a good job of training them. I mean, they are really
we
experts.
are trying. They are getting to be real
well, not
good
the Tim's
experts.
level expert.
But he does a great job of letting everybody learn as they're going, and it's just exciting, so it's easy to learn. But we also have folks that don't like to be interacting with people, so we've got folks that are helping us inside the administrative center with the database and writing and answering the phone. So if someone wants to volunteer, we've got the right job
Come
for
and sign
them.
up.
And this is such a great area to pull volunteers from, because
Right.
there's so many retirees
And a vast knowledge base,
That's right.
experience.
Educated,
and
affluent people.
Our volunteer information sheet, we have one here in the center. We can also go online and let us know that you're interested in volunteer. Please, we'd love to have you.
And we also want the volunteers to have, we want this to be a great experience for them. Well, we're working hard on trying to create a program where they really enjoy being here, they feel appreciated, right. Because like Jerry said, they're part of the team, and we just couldn't exist without our volunteers, so we appreciate everything they do. Jerry, tell everybody about how they can find out about more of what's going on here, how they keep in touch with us.
Well, I mentioned our website, which is actually undergoing a huge transformation. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be excited to launch that. From our website, we have links to our Twitter account, and we have Instagram and Facebook. So our website is portroyalsoundfoundation.org. And you can get to all those links. Well, Twitter and Instagram as soon as we launch, but Facebook, just type in Port Royal Sound Foundation. Those are updated on a regular basis.
I was going to say that would be a cool one to follow, because I'm sure you get all kind of cool pictures and things that are being caught in the nets.
Yeah,
and all
Facebook
lots.
just showed this new exhibit.
and
It
it's
just
awesome.
came up today.
Yeah. So, and we'll post when we have new things coming up, like when we get more fish or a new exhibit opens. So you can always be like, oh, time to go, and time to go.
And the price of admission is not a deterrent for anybody to come and visit.
Absolutely, because it's actually free.
The magic word.
Favorite place to go.
Yeah, come in, like Jody said, just driving down the road, you got 15 minutes to spare, come on in and see
Or
what's
out in the
new.
boat. I think
Or-
during the summer, people are going to be
That's
coming
right, we
all the
have
time
2
by boat.
docks, so if you're on the boat, just dock, come on in, see what's going on. It's always free. Now, some of our programs, because we have to keep the doors open, some of our special programs and lectures and demonstrations will have a nominal fee, but to come in and see all this wonderful stuff, and not everybody can walk out on the river, so come in here and see if you just want to sit and enjoy the view. Come on in.
It really is a
Free.
must stop. I mean, you have to do it if you haven't
And
been here yet.
we're so centrally located, so it's easy if
Yeah.
you're going back and forth.
That's great.
Come on in.
So tell us a little bit about how we would get here. I mean, you said centrally located. located. Describe exactly where we are right now.
Well, we're right in the middle between Okatee and Beaufort, right off I-170 at the Chessie River Bridge. We're right on the bank. If you're coming from the Bluffton area, you're going to have to exit right and come under the bridge to get to our parking lot.
Don't try and take a left.
Do not turn left
I've made that
on
mistake.
170. So if you're coming from Beaufort, you're going to also take an exit ramp, which is going to take you right into our parking lot.
So you always turn right, no matter what
No left
direction you're
turns.
coming from.
And what about hours of operation? I mean, is it
We're
every day,
open.
or-
We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and those hours may change a little bit in the spring as the warmer months come. So again, stay tuned to our Facebook and website.
And I think one of the really interesting things about all this is the fact that it's almost all private funds. There are very few public funds that have gone into this, and it's a huge tribute to everybody that's involved, that they raised all this money from private.
Well, I
Right,
think
that's-
one of the best things about this place is it's become a community project. The community has totally embraced us, whether it's through volunteering or whether it's financially. We have different neighborhoods around here that have all teamed together and wanted to be a part of it because they see the value, they see the excitement, and they want this place to be successful. So everyone they want to be a part of it. And so the community, the feel of community is really here, and we're very excited about that.
Well, you're investing really in the long-term benefit of the area, protecting the sound and preserving the cleanness that it is now. You have to have that education. That's what you guys do.
Right.
So kudos.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
It's an exciting place to be as an employee.
It's great.
I couldn't have asked for a better place to work.
Yeah, it's just really well done. If you haven't been here, you owe it to yourself, and bring your kids and your whole family and come check it out. Well, thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
having
having
us.
me.
And thank you for watching 843 TV.